Howdly doodly do. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fashionably Late Review Podcast, the only podcast that out there that is truly fashionably late on purpose. But we don't care because we're going to be reviewing some games either way. And joining me today is, as always, the glorious, the fabulous Amy Kate Alexander. How are you doing, sweetheart?
I'm good. We're talking about getting a fidget spinner from our fidgetiness, and I'm just fidgeting with this bracelet at the moment. So.
I've been thinking of that myself. I was thinking, should I get something like a fidget spinner? Because I get fidgety sometimes as well. I'm just watching something, and I was thinking, so instead of looking at my phone, I can just spin shit.
Yeah,
less time on what I'm meant to be doing.
Less time on social media is preferred.
Preferred, it truly is. But Amy, we're not alone. Just like last week, we are joined by a person from a galaxy far, far away. I had to throw that in there. It's the glorious, fabulous Elf. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Is that all, is it?
Yep.
She's not like us, Mooney. She's not barely hanging on. She's like, well, no, I am fantastic.
Well, then we are going to be talking about not one, not two, not three, but four games. It's fabulous. It's amazing. One is Wildermyth. I think that's how I said it. Is it right?
Yeah, Wildermyth.
Fabulous. Overboard, Dark Alliance, and the Crisis Tales demo. It's fabulous. It's amazing. It's like we've played games, especially me. I've played games. Sometimes I don't and just chat on this podcast and just ask questions. But no, this time I'm actually talking about games. How crazy of an idea this is for the internet.
Poor Moody last week. Oh my god. Me and Joe just like Ratchet and Clank. We was just like,
don't have a PlayStation 5. Kind of want one. Amy won't let me get hers. Understandable, because she knows she wouldn't get it back until we probably move. But either way, scalpers, stop taking them. I kind of leave one, please. Just, I have the money.
I mean, let's face it. Even if you moved in together, you still wouldn't get it back.
That's true.
It's probably gone in a communal room.
Yeah.
Like either way, which is fine.
But I'll still have to text to say, can I play on it?
A communal room which will end up with Amy's bed nip.
Yeah, something like that.
I fucking hope not. One of the key things about this room that I'm hoping for is that like I can finally record a podcast or stream from a room that does not have a bed in the background. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. I'd like some boundaries between. I'd like some boundaries between my online life and where I sleep. Because let's be fair, not much else is happening in that thing right now.
Oh, bless.
I know. It's fine. A whole Pride Month.
Condolences, high five, Amy.
Thank you. Condolences, high five.
You get that reference, ladies and gentlemen. You're awesome. We'll just say that right now. But we're going to start with the first game, and that is Wildermyth, developed by World Walkers Games LLC. It is on. Let me see. What is it on? It's just PC.
PC.
Only on PC. It was released June 15th, 2021. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are fashionably late. And this is how fashionably we are. We are literally late by 3 weeks. But either way, on Open Critic, right?
Not that late, but still cool. So, like, we're cool.
Still cool, yeah.
We're the cool people. We played the game a lot.
Well, two you are. No, I haven't got it yet. It's on my wish list. Yeah. See how this discussion goes.
Oh, Moody. Moody. This podcast hasn't even happened yet, and I convinced one person to buy it, and 4 other people have it on their wish list.
I don't like that you can see that I add things to my wish list. I kind of want to unfriend you now on Steam. But I feel like if I do that, I kind of lose a few games that I have installed right now that are someone else's right now. But either way, right now on Open Critic, this game is a top critic average of 87 and 100% critic rating. Recommendation. My goodness, it's 100% critics recommend this game, even though it only has an 87 on the top critic rating. It's really weird. The algorithm's crazy, but who cares? We're going to start with you, Elf. Wildermyth.
Absolutely love it.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. There, I'm now going to buy this game, and now bye. See you later. There we go. Sorry, I'll continue.
I'm absolutely rubbish at tactics, and it's a tactics game, but I absolutely just adore it. The fact that I think I said this in my stream, but it's the closest I've ever felt a game get to an actual D&D campaign. Yeah, it's a tactics game, but there is an awesome story behind it. It's procedurally generated, but you really do feel like you connect with your characters. You feel like you develop a story with them. And despite the fact I managed to get my entire party killed, it's brilliant. The replayability of it as well, because it's procedurally generated, because everything is different every time you play it. It's just one of these games where you can dip into, do a battle, come back to it later, or spend hours and hours and hours playing it. And I can see Amy's making faces over there. Go on, Amy. How many hours have you played?
Lots. Lots. You're like, it's something you can dip into. Or play for hours and hours and hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you know when you were saying, when you were saying like, oh, we've had time to do the Mass Effect thing, and I was like, I was busy. Gestures towards gameplay on YouTube video. I was busy. I was washing my hair. No, I was playing Wildermyth for a great deal of my time off. So yeah, right. This game has this. So I'm just going top level. I'm not going to get into any major specifics right now. This game combines gameplay and choices and procedurally generated storytelling and scripted storytelling like nothing you've ever played before.
Definitely
nothing at all. You start off. I'm gonna run a little bit of a story here. So you start off with 3 random characters, right? You can mess around with their stuff. You can change their gender identities, and you can change their sexualities. You can do a few things, but you start off and there's these 3 characters, and they're completely random, and you don't know anything about them, and you don't know who they are. And then you start going on an adventure with them. There's 5 campaigns, proper campaigns, and then there's you can literally just go, I fancy doing a completely procedurally generated 3-act campaign, and you can just do that. It's great. But you go on this journey with them, and by the end, these strangers and all the other characters that you meet throughout your adventure and form a party with, it's in fact, the best way I could describe it is I cried at the end. I had such a perfect, beautiful ending to my first campaign, where everybody had gone off, and the game takes place over decades. I think it was 30 something years where this game story just happened, and a bunch of stuff happened. We're fighting Gorgons, and they're going to try and destroy the world, and in between I'm getting all of these cool side stories with the characters where they find one of them found a lost ancient library. Another one, we found a toad. It's on the screen right now. We found this toad, and it was kiss me, I'm a prince, I'll turn into a prince. And one of the characters did it, and then it did turn into a prince, not a human prince, and it just ran off screaming vengeance. And everybody was like, "Oh, that was weird." But I got to the end, the final fight, and 2 of my characters had gotten married. It was awesome, and they had this nice little talk the night before the final battle, and then you go into the final battle, fighting. There's this big fuck off Gorgon god that's gonna fucking fuck everything up, right? It's just gonna destroy everything, and everybody's fighting. A party's been split across all of these enemies that are coming, and one of my character Kuriana, she got hit, Moody. She was down 0 hit points, and at that point it was she can retreat. Maimed. It happened to one of my other characters earlier in the story. She's maimed, but she'll survive. But it's the last fight of the campaign. Or she can do a massive amount of damage, I'm gonna take you with me, bang. Or she can give this inspirational speech, that gives everybody extra armor, And I was like, well, I don't want this character to die because I've been playing this for like hours and hours and hours. But like the fight's not going well. The fight's going really, really badly. Like tons of monsters have still got to take their turn. If I give everyone extra armor, we might live long enough to kill the final boss. So, get it? She does her thing. She's someone's wife who's also on the battlefield. She dies. Everybody gets the armor, survives the turn. We kill the boss. The credits start rolling. You get all these cool scenes of like what people did after the campaign. And I was just like, I have to go away now and sit outside for a bit and just like decompress this emotional journey I've been through with like a bunch of randomly generated characters in a story that is mostly procedural. Like it wasn't scripted, and the moment I just described wasn't scripted either. Like, fuck, this game's amazing. Sorry,
I love the way it's written like that. So, my first character that died, well, the first one I retreated. So they get two chances basically. They can retreat maimed, and come back after once they've sort of healed up a bit, and come back. But if they die again, then that's it. They're completely gone. And that happened to my first character, and you get again more choices as to whether you want to have them to be remembered or whether you want to bury them quietly and they'll be forgotten. And the way your characters react to that is just, it's heartbreaking, really. And it's so well, it's like I love the graphical side of it. It's like a storybook, and everything looks like paper cutouts, which again, I love that style. And it really does feel like you're in a story with them. You're creating this story again, going back to D&D. It really does feel like that. But yeah, you do get a connection with your characters, despite the fact that they're randomly generated. Which
and despite the procedure, like, so there is a story. Like, if you choose one of the 5 main campaigns, there is a story like that you follow. Like, in the first main campaign, for example, because I don't really want to talk about the other ones, right? Because I don't want to spoil shit for anyone. So like, I'll just focus on the first one. In the first one, because there's like 5 different types of enemies, and each one has their own campaign. And the first one, it's the Gorgons. They're fucking shit up and basically trying to end the world. And like that's all going on. That's the main sort of focus of it. But like in between that, like every time you go to a battle, there's a scene. Right, every time you come out of a battle, there's another scene, and these scenes, like unless you're doing like the first or last sort of story beat of an act, and there's like 3 or 5 acts depending on the campaign you're in, like they're all procedurally generated. Like Avril, I tuned into Avril's stream, I watched the VOD, and like I watched a bit of it. I skipped at the end because I wanted to see like what happened at the end. And I was like, you were doing shit I'd never even seen. And I've played this game for a long time. And I was like, holy shit, like you're fighting people? Like I didn't even know that was possible. Like what's happening here? And like it threads itself really, really well. So like this random plot point of a character like finding something, for example, like a fire shrine or something, it becomes this seeded plot point that then carries on throughout the rest of this story arc, and it feels so naturally like woven together. Like there's no point where you can go, well, that was just random, right? Like no, it never feels like that. It's fucking witchcraft. I don't know how they did it.
Well, easy. You're selling me on this game. I'll say this right now. You're selling me on this game. I love this type of thing because, like, obviously, I'm playing for the Mass Effect trilogy right now, and I love that just for the characters alone. Yeah. Just for its characters alone. The characters I've always fallen in love with in that game, along with like Dragon Age Inquisition. That I fell in love with the characters. It's the thing that drives anything, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to reiterate that game or film or TV show. It's the characters. Not the story. If you want a story, watch a Michael Bay movie because you ain't gonna get a story either. So either way, but You're selling me on it brilliantly. So, what are the biggest standouts out of it? You've said the characters and everything like that, and the prestige, and like obviously you can go in different directions and everything like it. Is there anything else that stands out for you?
I mean, I've got a few. I want to just like jump on the back of what we were just talking about, like really quickly, and say that this trick works more than once. Like, I figured I'd gone through this one campaign, right? Start to finish. I did it all in one sitting, right? I was like, fucking Jesus. And then obviously I walked away and I was like, and I was thinking, like, I've just gone on this amazing journey with these characters in this story. There's no way that, like, I know the tricks now. I know what this game's got. There's no way it's going to do it again. I'm not going to connect with this next random group of characters the same way that I connected with the previous group of characters. Moody, I was wrong. I was so wrong, and it happened again and again and again. It just keeps happening. Like, you get these random people, you form an adventuring party, and you just go on this cool fucking story, and every time it gets its hooks in you. And I've got more, but I want to let Avril jump in as well.
Exactly the same. To me, it's like I said before, it feels the closest to a D&D game that I've ever played a computer game.
Yeah, like even more so than Dungeons & Dragons.
Exactly.
I did it a few episodes back where I was reviewing that Celeste. Like the game that is actually based on Dungeons and Dragons, and I was like, they've really, and I said to Moody in that episode, I said they've really captured the mechanics, like the combat mechanics and the skill checks and stuff of Dungeons and Dragons, but it just doesn't feel like Dungeons and Dragons because it's a single player RPG. And I said at the end of that discussion, I'm just waiting for that one game that just feels like Dungeons and Dragons. It turns out I don't have to wait that long. Because, like, you're right, this game is just really feels like you've just gone through a D&D campaign.
Yeah.
In the best way, like, possible.
It's got that story-driven aspect to it, which is what makes a D&D. And if you feel like you are making those choices matter, they really matter. It's not like, oh, I'll just pick this option. It's like, okay, you've got two options. Which one are you going to choose? Because they really are going to matter.
And like you start making choices like based on characters instead of based on like, so like even things like leveling up, where it's like every time a character levels up, they get a choice of 3 or 4 different abilities, where it's just like they're random from like based on the class that they've got, and it's like you could like it's like me playing D&D, where it's like I don't min max my character, right? I don't give a shit what I'm taking. I choose things based on what would be cool for my character to have, but you get into doing the same thing here, where it's just like instead of going, oh, I could get this, which upgrades this move that would like make my fighter even better. It's just like, yeah, but this skill is what this character would have, like. And so like even when you start getting into like gameplay stuff and gameplay choices, you still make choices based on the characters that are in front of you. That's so fucking cool. Because again, like this, everything about them is random. You can literally sit and click the little dice button and just keep randomizing them if you want. At the beginning, it doesn't matter. But by the end of a campaign, it does matter. Like, it matters a great deal.
And that's all you want, basically. If you're going to connect with these characters, you want it to matter in the end and everything. So that's really great. You've said you got a couple of more things, Amy.
Yeah, the legacy system as well. So like, which obviously like I've had a bit more experience with. So like it's the game is called Wildermyth, right? And the second half of that word is myth, and that's kind of like Avril said, like it's got this storybook style. Like it literally starts with a character finds a book, and there's some space left in the book, and this is it, and they're writing this story into the book. And that's sort of like the setup for every single campaign that you do. It's always like, hey, we're just telling a story that goes into this book, and like the general sort of core concept of it is you're just weaving myths and legends. And what happens is at the end of a campaign, the characters that were in that campaign, like they become legacy characters. So like you don't like when I finished that first campaign and I had this like set of characters who I knew like the back of my hand. Like they had bios and histories, and like they changed so much throughout the course of this campaign. It was like cool. They get added to the legacy pool, and these characters can turn up in future campaigns, which I thought at first would be a bit cheap. Where it's like you go on this epic adventure with this group of characters, and then what? They just turn up in someone else's campaign, like because they turn up by themselves. They don't have like. I mean, yeah, like you want to talk about memory issues. It's like if like they can't like come with all of their history and like their character relationships with other characters and stuff. But the way I've seen that they insert these legacy characters into future campaigns is really, really clever and really smart. So I got to give them tremendous credit for sort of implementing this mechanic in a way where when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know about that." And then when I saw it in action, I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Like in my second campaign, the part of the group, the party, I can't remember. You get to name the party every time, and they're always ridiculous names. I can't remember what the name was, but they went down into this was a procedurally generated story beat. This was a side quest where they went into this basement, and in this basement there was all these tapestries, and there was this one tapestry that was like really fancy, and like there was a picture of a person in it, and I was like, I know who that is. Like they were in my last campaign. And then you do the fight, and then like you can choose to like mess with the tapestry, and basically what happens is like you pull the character out of the tapestry, they join the party, and it's like they were trapped in this tapestry, and it's like, oh shit, like I remember, like what do you remember? And she's like, I remember like I was fighting and like we were doing something, but I don't know where it was. And then it's like, well, do you want to come with us because we're also trying to save the world? Yeah, let's do it. And I was like, that's so clever. Like it's not just you're not just bringing in like a character with the same name and the same look to like because of nostalgia. It's like no, they integrated that as part of the story, and then it's so good, so good.
Is there anything else you want to say before I ask my next questions?
Let's see what I want to get some. Let's get some questions.
Yeah.
How's the combat? Turn-based, so and it's tactical, but how's it worked for you?
Me being not great on tactics, like I say, I ended up killing my entire party, but it's very enjoyable. It's very, I mean, it's turn-based, obviously, but I love the fact that each class has its own different way of doing it. Obviously, you've got the melee fighters in up close. You've got the archers, but you've also got the spellcasters who, rather than actually attacking directly, can use the surrounding environments to attack. So, for example, and it depends what they cast their spells on as to how their attacks work. So, you can cast a spell on a table and it'll do splinter. You can cast a spell on a rock and it'll throw rocks at the enemies. And I find that to be really, really interesting.
It's so good, isn't it? Like it's so cool.
Yeah, it's a very different take on just a standard. You know.
Yeah, like your spellcaster like infuses with like scenery.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Again, I've got a lot of hours in this game. Like so, like yeah, they infuse with the scene with like specific parts of the scenery, and like when you level up, you're not just like getting a spell list or whatever. Like it's not just like I learn new spells. It's like no, the spellcasters learn new ways of interacting with specific objects. So like they can level up in sort of environmentalists, so they'll get more sort of options when they interact with like plants and trees. Same thing with like there's fire and stone, earth, stuff like that. But like it's like April says, like you infuse with a table and it does like splinter blast, which doesn't do much damage, but it shreds armor. Or you can infuse with a campfire, and then you can steal the fire and throw it at an enemy. Like it, and everything has hit points. So like every time you cast a spell off of an object, it takes damage. Or if, say, for example, if you seal the fire from a campfire, the fire's gone, right? You've used it. So then you infuse with something else. So like, the combat's awesome. It's got a lot of difficulty options as well. Like you can go all the way at the top, drop the difficulty down, and it becomes like Avril was saying, it becomes like a storybook game, like a role-playing game. Pure role-playing game. And you can go up and make the combat harder and harder and harder, like to the point where you can put it all the way at the top, and it just becomes like this like epic warfare tale of like barely surviving like by the skin of your teeth. But the magic system is a big standout, like, and the fact that like there's only 3 classes, but there's so many different options, like when you start leveling the characters up, like that you could have two hunters, which are like the archer types. Like they don't have to be; they can be sword types. Like you can literally level a hunter up as a sword fighter. Like you could have 2 people of the same class that are completely different characters. A few levels in and do completely different things, which is really fun in an RPG, as it turns out.
Okay, the ultimate question, as you know what's coming at me. All games are never perfect. So what didn't work for you in this game?
That's actually quite a tough one.
You can literally say nothing. That's fine. That doesn't make a difference. Because it's your personal opinion, it's your personal belief. If everything worked for you, then that's fantastic.
This is a perfect... No, I'm not going to.
And we all played the perfect game last year. It's called The Last of Us Part 2, ladies and gentlemen. You heard us speak about it last year. Has no controversy whatsoever.
Like, you can't say that while I'm shaking my head. People are going to think that I think. It needs a confirm action button.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
I'll agree with that. Definitely.
Like when you can accidentally like do stuff like move a character or infuse with the wrong thing or attack the wrong thing or.
Yeah, actually, I did find that a bit of a niggle. Sometimes it's, especially if you've got like 2 characters really close to each other and you're trying to infuse with something that's in the middle, it's really hard to actually click on it. I think sometimes it can be a bit, because you have to click really almost at the base of it to infuse with it.
Yeah.
But like, got two characters in front of them, it's virtually impossible to.
Yeah, it's like the game looks. Yeah, the game looks amazing. Like it's paper. It's based on like papercraft, so it looks like a papercraft world, which is just fucking outstanding. But like, because of that, you can't move the camera around. Like you can't spin it or anything like that, because obviously like everything is designed to be seen from one direction. So like, yeah, it's like like if you've got like 3 things in front of in like a row, because it's grid based. If you've got like 3 things in a row and you're trying to click on the thing at the back, and it's like, oh man, like I got to try and click this thing that I can barely sort of see, and it's just like, yeah, like a confirm action button would be helpful in that regard. That's it. That's my criticism.
Yeah.
And I had to really struggle to think of that.
Yes.
You really, really like this game, Amy. Is it a bit better in there? Does it top Nier Automata?
Well,
Nier Replicant?
It is. Oh, is it now? You know me, Moody. I'm not trying to make hyperbolic statements, right? Like I don't say things like and overblow things. I never do. This is, for me personally, the game to beat right now. Like, if we're like thinking about January, and like Game of the Year discussions, it's like there's nothing I've played so far. And don't get me wrong, you can go back, watch all the episodes we've done this year. Like I've played some games I've loved like greatly. Nothing touches this. Like nothing comes close to this.
Wow. I think this has to be Game of the Year. Yeah.
So far,
and you're obviously not going to be touched in the award ceremonies later.
Oh God, no! Like it's so difficult to just find people who even know that this fucking thing exists. It's maddening. Like Like I was looking through Twitter because obviously like I was tweeting about the game, as I was playing it because I just couldn't hold it in. I couldn't wait because I'd started playing it like just after we finished recording Joe's episode last time, which was like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, I can't wait 2 weeks to talk about this. And like, I'm literally like, I'm one of the biggest at the time. I was one of like the biggest people talking about how amazing this game was, and I'm just like, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. Like this. More people need to know what this game is. Yeah. And no, Jeff Keighley's Game Awards will not go anywhere near this.
First-person shooter. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not a third-person action adventure game.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry.
Final thoughts, Elf, on Wildermyth.
Buy it. If you haven't already got it, get it. Basically.
Amy, final thoughts on Wildermyth.
Game of the year.
I will confirm I have now bought this game.
Yes.
I bought during the talk.
I said
while I was looking away listening, I was thinking, fine, there we go.
I said to you the other day when we were in a Discord call, and I said, like, Moody, like, because you touched on it, right? We touched on Wildermyth in this talk, and I said, Moody, you better be prepared for Sunday night, because I have some things to say about this game.
You did. You did have things to say, Amy, and you said them. But it's now, though, ladies and gentlemen, for me to talk. Yes.
And me.
And Amy. Don't worry, but no one cares about that. That's all right.
I go if you want.
Out the game me and Amy are going to be talking about is Overboard. Available on Nintendo Switch and PC, and I believe also mobile. Developed by Inkle. Thank you very much. It's a genre's adventure and strategy. The description is: get away with murder, ladies and gentlemen. Highly replayable detective game where you're the one who done it. From the creators of 80 Days and Heaven's Vault. Never heard of those games, I'm not going to lie. I apologize for that. July 1935. It's July 1935. A murder has been committed aboard the SS Hook. 8 hours from New York. Only one problem. You did it. Can you get away with murder? Blackmail a spy, fall in love, murder a rival, cheat at cards, drug a witness, lie, befriend, betray, console, sneak, seduce, steal, borrow, pray, eavesdrop, and kill. There are clues, evidence, suspects, accusations, secrets, and lies all over the place. You'll need all your cunning and charisma to ensure that someone else takes the fall. I'm going to say this right now. I had a lot of fun with this game. This game is awesome. It is such a simple, not laid back game because it can really get really tense in this game. But it's just a simple point and click game, like it says, adventure genre game. Yeah. And it's really, really, really good. The characters are really, really well done. Like, I really like every single one, and they're all different and unique. And there's suspicion in all of them in different, unique ways. And I really, really liked it. I love the main character. I think she's absolutely fabulous. The voice actress, she only has a couple of lines and everything, but she really does a really good job from that. Especially when you. Yeah, especially when she fails, because she basically just swears. She just swears, oh shit, and all like that. And I'm just like, I like this even more, just because you swore at the end. I like it. I don't know why. It's so pitiful. I know that, but
yeah. It's like I'm sick of not swearing. Like I think you should be swearing out. Swearing's great.
But Amy, what were your thoughts on this game?
Fucking so much fun, right? Like for number one, Heaven's Vault was like one of my top 10 games of 2019, so I take that personally that you've never heard of.
I never heard of it. I apologize.
No, it's fine. It's another game I actually recommended to Avril and got it to play, and she loves it too. It's like my superpower is recommending games to people they'll love. So when this came out, because this was a surprise release, like no one knew it was coming out. They just went, "Hey, we're releasing a game." When? Now. Okay, shit. So that was cool.
They did it so none of us could get it on Fantasy Critic.
It's so much fun. Like, you go in and it's like, the concept alone, right, of just being like, it's a murder mystery. Oh, cool. But you did it. Like, the very first thing that happens is you're like out on the deck of the boat with your husband, and you just like, just like, oh, look, some dolphins. And then you just push him off the boat. And that's how the game starts every time, because it's like a replayable game. And it's just like mint, and now you got to get away with it. And like your first couple of runs are just like fucked, right? You are fucked.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah! Emil, you said on Wildermyth you killed all your squad. I can top that with my first playthrough.
Oh, here we go. I've seen your achievements.
This really can, yeah. So Amy, you said last night you texted me saying you were able to get Lady J to fall asleep. Yes.
Yeah.
Lady L or Lady J?
Lady H, I think it is.
Lady H, yeah. So fall asleep by spiking her drink with a sleeping tablet. So I was going for that as well. And obviously normally I'm very good, like saying, okay, so that's what it says, that's what it says, that's what it says. So it gives you three options. Two of them were put a tablet in her drink. The other one was put a tablet in your drink. And I'm thinking, okay, okay. So I think I've clicked the put a tablet in her drink. I did not realize I pressed the wrong one and put a tablet in my own drink. And then it says, sip, drink up. So I drank up and fell right asleep and was thrown right in jail.
Oh, brilliant.
Didn't do anything. I just fell asleep in my chair with an old lady across from me, and I'm thrown in jail the next minute. And I was like, how did you know I did something? How?
I mean, there's a lot of evidence.
Yeah, there is.
I think my second playthrough, No, I didn't. No. Never mind. I was going to say, like, it wasn't. That was later on. It's not as funny if it's a later playthrough, and I don't want to spoil it. But, yeah, like, it's pretty cool. Like, you go through, and this game does some cool stuff. It's kind of basically a visual novel, which is cool. Yeah. Like, we do not discriminate here, whereas about games, I like visual novels quite a bit. And, you're just making choices and doing stuff. When it comes to replaying the game, because you're going to fail your first time, unless, like, you already know what to do. Like, you are going to fail because there's some things that you need to do. Like, to get an ending where you aren't blamed. I think there's 4 different endings, I think there is, where it's basically like, you do not get blamed for the murder of your husband. And this, like, you need to be on it. You need to know what you're doing and what you're looking for. Because there's, like, certain events that happen within, like, because it's time-based. So, like, every time you do an action, it advances the clock at the top. There are certain things you basically need to use straight away, like, to not get caught. But, like, as you start replaying it from the first time after you failed, like, you get objectives. So, like, you don't get, like, all of the objectives in the game all at once, but it's, like, sort of, like, things that your character will have figured out to, like, oh, I need to do this to not get thrown in jail or whatever. And also, the game highlights choices you've already made. So, like, if you're going through dialogue that's the same path that you've already been on, the choices that you made previously will be highlighted green. So, you know, because, like, it can be quite easy to forget like what you've done in the past and make a mistake like that. So, like, those two things are, like, really help, like, because this game is a game, I think a playthrough takes about 20 or 30 minutes from end to end, and, like, it's a game designed to be played through over and over again. So, like, those two things I think are a big part of what let me play it over and over again. Like, I got an ending, a successful ending, shall we say, a partially successful ending, after maybe an hour and a half. And then after that, it was like, do I want to go back and do other stuff and figure out what's going on with these other characters? And I was like, yeah, you know what I do? Like, I want to figure some shit out here. So, like, I went back in, did some stuff, and it's just, there's a lot of moving parts. And as you keep playing through it and I told Moody it's like pushing the buttons to see what what other stuff can happen in a run. Like, and it's fascinating to like prod at something and something completely unexpected happens.
I love the visual style of this game. It's just point and click, but just the art style. Whoever's drawn and did all the artistry for the visual novel part is absolutely a genius because it looks so like, what was it? It says it's in 1935, so you literally feel like you're in the 1930s. The music is right there for it as well. The music is works very well for the time. And it's just a great little game, and I absolutely adored playing it. I just played it over and over and over and over, and I just realized, wow, I played like I talked to you when I was speaking to him yesterday. I said I played it like 10 times. I didn't succeed with my first win until my 9th time or 10th time, I think I said. Yeah, it was just like, you get into it, you get sucked in because you then find out, wait, there's something else over here. Oh, there's go over here. And then you run out of time, and then it's like, oh no, I didn't do everything.
It's like no! It's like the first time where I was like, okay, I think I've created a solid-ish alibi for myself, like during my first run, and then it was like, get to the end, and like at the end of every run, it's like all the characters get gathered, like it's proper murder mystery style, and like start going through it and stuff, and then this one guy was just like, well, the maid found this in your room, and I was like, what? I didn't even know that was there. You fucking kidding me?
What are you doing in my room?
Son of a bitch! Yeah. And then on the next run, I stayed in my room and I made the maid cry. I was like, basically told her to fuck off, get out, do not darken this doorstep again. And I was like, ha, nailed it. I had nailed it. Bloody earrings. Yeah, those earrings caused me so much fucking hassle.
Yeah, they really do. They really, really do. The earrings are like the bane of the characters' existence in this game.
I love the characters in this game. Like, like you kind of have to like per run sort of like focus down. Like, okay, like this is the character I'm gonna get to know, and then accidentally roll credits on the game. But like, yeah, like it turns out like every character has a lot of depth, and like they have their own sort of little story arc. They have their own secrets, and like you start figuring shit out, and then you go to the chapel. Like, oh my god!
Did not expect that when I went there.
Oh, do you want to go for a minute and talk about the chapel?
The chapel, you're basically speaking to God, but basically saying, "You know who I am. I'm the devil." And they can give you hints of what to do and everything like that. Or say you can do this, or do this.
It's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh, how do I do this? Oh, well, try this. But also, like, they're just dragging you the entire time. Like, they're throwing so much shade at you. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it really is. Like one time, I donated money at the end of one of my playthroughs, and just went like that. I was like, I was thinking, yeah, well, I'll take the button back. Give us the button to press it, get it back. They don't give me that. They don't give me that option.
You know, you get shouted out if you even look in the ball. Yeah. But yeah, like just figuring out these characters and what they're all about and stuff, and like figuring out their routines, which is obviously important to sort of figure out where they are and where you can be and where you need to be. And like I was going through the achievements list after I was finished playing it yesterday, and I was like, I could 100% this. I think I could figure out how 100% this, just because I want to see all the cool writing that Inkle has done in this game, and also there are achievements for killing literally everybody. And I'm like, I want to do that. I definitely want to.
Yeah. I accidentally killed someone by accident. Didn't realize I did. I was like, wait, what? No, I didn't mean it. Oh, nice. Wait, what have you got? Oh, you got a couple of things I could use. Nice.
I killed someone. I killed someone out of frustration. Like, I was just like, you know what? Fuck you. And I just pushed him off the fucking board.
Yeah, I did that one life. I kind of have a feeling it's the same person.
Probably the same person.
Yeah.
Fucking earrings.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but no, yeah, it is such a simple game. The only downside I would say is that if you were wanting a full in-depth playthrough, like to go and like going into different worlds or something like that. This is not the game. It isn't. You are literally in one spot. You're on a boat for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and it's a game that literally tells you to basically replay it to get different endings, to try and spread out, to find out what else could happen in this game and whatnot. And that's what you need to do for it. If that's not for you, I can understand that for you, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a game you seriously need to give a go. It's like a tenner on Steam.
For like, one thing I would say as well, just to like add to that point, is like sometimes you can sequence break the game by accident. Like there's like you can do something that, so all right, I'm just gonna say it. So there's this thing, and I still don't know what it is like that happened, but it was like I decided on one of my runs that I was gonna go down to the chapel, because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna talk to God. I'll ask for some hints, but it's very entertaining like to do this, so I'm gonna do this. And then I walked in and I was like, I'm just gonna chat and maybe get some hints about what to do next. And like it turns out like one of the characters had like set up a trap, like where it was like, I sent out this, I said this thing and sent notes, and then I knew that the murderer would turn up, and here you are. And I was like, I never saw that. I don't know what you're talking about. What the fuck is going on? I just decided to wander down here to talk to the fucking cross, which probably didn't help my case, but. but it was just like, oh, wait, what? Like, what's going on? And then, like, even when you get to the scene at the end where, you know, he's explaining this, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, because I literally didn't know what he was talking about. Like, I was being genuine. Like, what? You didn't, you ransom? What? What ransom? I was eating dinner, and then I came down to the chapel, and he just jumped out on me. And so, like, it happened a couple of times where it's like I kind of broke the logic flow of the game.
Yeah.
Which was a bit annoying. Because especially considering I still don't know what he's talking about. I figured out what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, well, he's obviously, that's the thing about it. If you don't find out things about certain characters, things may not make sense for you when they say, this person's done this or something like that. You're just like, who are you talking about? I never met that person. I don't know who you're talking about. Who's saying this? Put them in front of me right now. I want to talk to them and everything like that. But they can't do that. Everything like that.
I think my favorite one was getting to the end for the first time, having not interacted with what turns out to be a pretty critical character, and then that character was in the ending, and I was like, wait, what?
Who are you?
Like,
where have you been?
This has been happening? What? So then you go back and talk to him, and I'm just like, oh, it's like that, is it? Like, oh, okay. Like, but that's also the cool thing about the game, where it's just like something comes out of nowhere and surprises you, and then you go next playthrough, I'm gonna figure out what the fuck that was all about.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, it really is. On OpenCritic right now, this is a top critic average of 88 and a 94% critics recommend. This is a highly rated game, a very simple, to the point game that it's just simple to learn, but it's hard to master, especially if you want to if you want to finish the game and get it like to survive, not go to jail and everything. It's a cracking game, and I take my cap off to the developers. I literally just was like, just looking on OpenCritic, and I was like, what's this game? Okay. And I just randomly bought it for no reason at all, and I just played it.
Shout out to indie games in 2021. They're killing it.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them indeed. Well, go and give those 2 highly rated games there, ladies and gentlemen, that we've talked about so far. Now it's time to talk about the third game to bring back in Elf. Can I
just point out that transition? So we've talked about the 2 really good games. Now let's talk about the next game.
Yeah.
I just want to draw attention to that transition.
Like that, I'm not going to lie. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, ladies and gentlemen. It is available on the Xboxes, the PlayStations, and the PC. Developed by Tumic Games, published by Wizards of the Coast. Its genres is action and RPG. The description is Dark Alliance brings to life the world of Dungeons and Dragons in an explosive action brawler filled with real-time combat and dynamic co-op. Right now on OpenCritic, it is at a top critic average of 58 and critic recommendation of 13%. So right now, this game is not really hitting the spectrum for the critics out there. So we'll go back to you, Elf, because we haven't spoken to you for a bit. What are your thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance? For me, I feel like this game probably speaks to you most, and for you, Amy, as well, because you both play and love Dungeons and Dragons. So what are your thoughts, Elf?
I've got a lot to say about this game.
Ooh.
Where to start? So, firstly, it's not Dungeons and Dragons. It may be published by Dungeons and Dragons. It's got Dungeons and Dragons in the name, but it's not Dungeons and Dragons. Let's start with the beginning. So, one thing I really hate about games is when they gender lock classes. And with this game, you are given a choice of, what's it, 4 characters, I think?
Yeah, it's like 4. I think they're 4 characters from those novels.
Yeah.
Drizzt.
So you're tied literally to those 4 characters. You can't change their stats. You can't change their you can't personalize them in any way. You can't customize them. Nothing like that. You are those characters, and that's it.
You can customize them with gear.
Okay. Oh god, the gear. Oh god, I'll get to that.
Well, I'll talk about that. Oh boy.
Oh god, yeah. The co-op is great fun. I think the co-op is only great fun because we had so much time, so much good fun taking the piss out of the game. It's it's got a good idea behind it. The execution is pretty bad. It's a good little hack and slash game, maybe. I mean, I played it a little bit solo before we co-opted with Amy, and as a basic sort of dungeon crawler type experience, it was enjoyable. It's probably not something I would play like a huge amount. But for me, because it had Dungeons and Dragons in the title, because it's published by Wizards of the Coast, I went in expecting a D&D-esque experience. I was expecting the experience that I got with Wildermyth with this, and I didn't get it. Nowhere near. Like I say, as a basic sort of like hack and slash dungeon crawling experience, it's okay. But there's just so much wrong with that game that I couldn't recommend it. Certainly not for the price it is as well.
Game Pass. This the Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. So obviously it's. I mean, I say obviously. I shouldn't. I have to. I'm trying to curb my use of the word obviously because things that are obvious to me aren't necessarily obvious to everybody else. It's based on. There was like an old series of games on like PS2 era, Dark Alliance, games. So like they were hack and slash games. So I guess I kind of knew what I was getting into. It's like Dark Alliance, so it's just going to be hack and slash. I mean, I thought I knew what I was getting into. I have some criticisms about the direction they've taken the game away from those older games. But, I mean, this is just I can't say I hated it, right? I can't say I didn't have fun. But this is one janky-ass motherfucking game, Moody. Like, this is very janky. So it comes with a qualifier that, like, I played it with April. We had fun. She was streaming. So, you know what it's like. When you're streaming, you're in entertainment mode, right? You're trying to entertain people who are going to be there. And even when I'm on someone else's stream, I'm still trying to be entertaining with whatever I'm playing. So, like, I had fun with it. Probably not in the way the developers intended. Like, you aren't wrong that there is so much wrong with the game in terms of, like, from a technical standpoint. And in terms of decisions that have been made, like with the game design itself, like I think has issues. But like, if you get some friends together and you just want to mindlessly push buttons and kill things, and you've got Game Pass, because I wouldn't recommend this game at full price, you can have a decent amount of fun with it for a few hours. Like, I think I wouldn't ever. I wouldn't ever message you, Avril, and be like, "Do you want to play Dark Alliance?" But I think if you were like, "I'm going to do a Dark Alliance stream," I would go. If I wasn't obviously busy, I would just go, "Yeah, all right, cool." Like I'll see how much more hideous gear I can find for my character. So like, yeah, I think you've got a wide range of options for your next question there, Moody. Like, I think there's a lot of threads you can pull on from those sort of opening statements.
So it sounds like the only real redeeming issue was this game was that it's co-op and you had a slashing fun sometimes and everything like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, half the amount of time we were laughing at the way my character was walking.
Oh my god. For some reason, my character, like, so you know how like you do the thing where you don't push the analog stick all the way and you walk instead of run. My character had a normal walking animation, but for some reason, Avril's character had the weirdest walking animation of all time. And we literally, I think we spent 10 minutes in the hub, like before a mission, just looking at it, just being like, "What is that? What is that?"
It was like some sort of sideways glide. It was
like somewhere between a moonwalk and tripping over your own feet, like, which is what I do when I try and moonwalk, incidentally.
Okay. So it sounds like this game is very buggy. It sounds like it's arguably still a bit broken, and that they probably should have delayed this till like another 6 months. Maybe
probably. Like,
so there's one point in the hub we were waiting to go onto a mission, and Amy got absolutely stuck in the wall, and she literally couldn't do anything. I had to start the mission to force it to get her out of the.
I was trying everything. Like I don't think broken. It never broke, right? Like I would never like describe the game as unplayable. It's that sort of like level below where it's just like it's janky as fuck and it's really noticeable. So like we both had frame rate issues as we were playing the game, but like there were a lot of entertaining bugs like the walking glitch. There were annoying ones. Like it never felt like the game was in sync with itself. So like I don't know whether it was a network issue, like a netcode thing. It always felt like there was like a lag between there was input lag, basically, is what it felt like. You push a button and the thing doesn't happen quite as quickly as it probably should happen. Or like a sword will hit the enemy, but it won't it's almost like it won't register the hit for like half a second, like stuff like that. Which is makes an action melee game pretty difficult, where it's like I need to dodge, but I have to anticipate the dodge because I have to push the button half a second before I know I need to push the button.
I was playing a ranger, so I was doing range attacks. So I didn't have the same issue so much with button pressing as Amy, but what I did notice hugely was the enemy's lack of it. I wasn't going to say poor AI, but it's a lack of AI. In some cases, I could literally just stand back, pepper them with arrows, and they would just stand there and take it.
Well, so we did that one boss fight, right? Where because I played a couple of different characters. We did that one boss fight where I was the big dude with the hammer, and like Moody. I'm a game critic, right? Like I pull at games, I prod games, I try things in games that like no ordinary person would do. So like we were just fighting this boss one time, and I realized like this boss is tracking me, but it's like if I stay a certain distance to its side, it's not going to hit me because of how fast I can move. And so it's on Alfie's stream, I imagine, where she's just standing back, shooting this boss with arrows, and I'm running around in circles, and it's just spinning on the spot, like trying to track me. And I'm just going, like, it's like, what is this? And like I said to you on the stream, like, what is this AI? Like this.
Yeah.
This is bad.
It does seem like it's a poorly coded AI. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I can't judge it because obviously I didn't play it. So, but going off what you're saying, yeah, it sounds like it's been a poorly coded game in general.
I mean,
especially the AI.
There was one point where this was off stream because this was when I was soloing it. But there was one point where there's a boss in like a ravine, and I was literally just standing up on the ledge. And I thought, I just wonder, and I peppered it with arrows, and it was taking the hits. It was standing right in front of there's like ice spikes where if you go into them you will start freezing. And my arrow was knocking him back, and he wasn't doing any reacting to it, and he ended up going into the ice spikes and just stood there whilst he was taking damage. I didn't even need to shoot arrows, and he was just like,
It's a hell of a thing to for me personally. This is a me personally thing based on what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. It's a hell of a thing to go from this game to Dark Souls. Like that really provided, really provided a contrast. I feel like to what I was playing in this and then what I was playing in Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Well, I feel for you because this is the second Dungeons and Dragons game that's come out this year that's basically just hasn't worked for you.
Wildermyth is the best Dungeons and Dragons game ever made. Yeah, all right, that's right. I said it. No, it's like it's an entertaining game for sure, and like you can have fun with it. Like it's just, I used to play the Dark Alliance games back on the PS2, so I was quite like cautiously hopeful about this being again a fun time. I wasn't looking for like Hades level, you know what I mean, like Last of Us Part 2 level gameplay here. I was just looking for something I could get some friends together, have some fun, and we just beat the shit out of some orcs, dwarves, whatever the fuck, you know, we're fighting. And to an extent, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Like, so I can't like be too critical of the overall game experience because I kind of got what I was looking for. Just it feels like it could have been tightened up. Like
I think I'm coming from it from a slightly different perspective because I've never played the original Dark Alliance. So for me, just seeing Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, all I then linked it with was just standard tabletop D&D. Which is where I was expecting sort of more of that sort of experience coming through. So it's interesting that we're coming from it from different angles, and yet I say finding the same sort of things annoying and the same sort of issues with the game.
Yeah,
and it's if you're going in expecting a hack and slash and not particularly expecting it to be that good a game, just expecting just going in for a laugh, have it on Game Pass, because if you're buying it full price, it's definitely not worth it. But if you're going in for expecting a couple of hours of fun, and you've got Game Pass, then I think it's a good get. But
yeah, like I think a couple patches fix whatever's going on with the netcode, which is what I assume is the issue. Like I think you got a fairly fun experience for a few hours. Like one of my issues with the game is the I guess the angle that they talk with it, where it's just like obviously, I mean, we've all at least seen hack and slash games, usually like isometric affairs, like from some sort of zoom distance, and you run around and you just beat the crap out of everything, like Diablo, but with less thinking. And like that's what the old Dark Alliance games were, but like this, they've moved the camera, so it's like a full-on third-person game, which it's not a great one. And the lock-on camera, like, and I don't know, you probably didn't have too much experience with this because you were playing the Archer character, so you were more aim and shoot. But like for whatever reason, the lock-on character, so like you got the camera where you would expect in a third-person action adventure game, but then if you want to lock on to an enemy, like it's on the screen right now, it goes down slightly to the right and it zooms right in, and it's just like I lose all awareness of everything that's going on around me, and I am just like locked in on this whatever enemy I'm looking at. And I was just like, I mean, we talked about it on the stream. I was not a fan of that camera, like at all. Like it was a horrible experience. It was difficult, like when you're fighting the larger enemies, like with that camera locked on, it was difficult to figure out what they were going to do. Never mind what everything around you was trying to do too. So like, I mean, you haven't asked the infamous question yet, but if I was like, what didn't work for you? That's the big thing that didn't work for me. I was like,
I don't think I needed to ask that question. I'm not gonna lie. So it didn't feel like I needed to. So
yeah, like camera work with the lock-on camera was just, I did not like that at all.
Yeah.
As someone who likes to play like a hack and slash game where I slash and hack.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I don't. No. I tell you what I did like, though. The big guy with the big hammer, he's got that attack where if you sprint and you push the button, you do a flying knee. Like, that was loves. And then things just go flying. And I was like, that was fun. I like that. Bam! It's great.
Excuse me.
Oh, and the gear looks horrible. Like, I'm sorry, it just does. Like, Drizzt is an iconic Dungeons and Dragons character, and I was worried if anyone who was a fan of Drizzt came into April's stream, I was going to get shouted at because every piece of gear I put on Drizzt was like, well, it's better in stats, but it looks really bad.
Which of us had the pirate?
Wasn't me. I had the.
I had the pirate look at one point, didn't I?
I had the oversized Robin Hood cap.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, surely they're not going to cover up Drizzt's iconic silver hair. Oh, no, they are. Oh, that looks bad. And then, like, that, there was a cape that was basically a tongue. It looked like a massive green scaly crocodile tongue. I sent a picture of to April after we'd finished streaming, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
The gear is just so bad. The gear itself, stats, yeah, fine. But the design, they could have come up with better designs.
Like, I'm sure there's like really cool looking end game stuff, right? But the early game stuff looks
dreadful.
Yeah, sorry. I like to try and blunt my criticisms of games because I know that there's real people on the other end of criticisms, but yeah, it's not great. Sorry.
Final thoughts, Elf. On Dark Alliance.
Yeah, I've said it before, but if you're looking for a couple of hours of good fun, well, I say good fun, a couple of hours of fun, and you've got Game Pass and you've got a spare 50 gig, I think it is.
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big to download. Then yeah, give it a shot. But don't be expecting something that you're going to sink hours and hours and hours into. But if you've got a few friends that want to get around to play it, but yeah, it's not something that I would highly recommend. I think if you're looking for a D&D experience, I'd recommend Wildermyth way over this.
What do you think? Is Wildermyth is not technically a D&D?
I know.
It's not Dungeons and Dragons. You've had two of those games this year, and it's both been a bit mixed for people.
Yeah.
Amy, final thoughts on Dark Alliance?
I'm just watching I was just watching the footage. There's rocks flying through the air, and it's like, I don't know where those rocks have come from. They couldn't have come from the lava, because the lava's over there. What is? Sorry. Like a couple of patches down the road, once things have been tweaked a little bit, and it's a bit less janky. And you've got Game Pass, and you can get some friends together to have a good time. If you want to play something that's not too strenuous on the old brain, for example, but like, I wouldn't go out of my way to play it again.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because you know me, Moody. I want to like everything I play. But sometimes that just doesn't happen. Yeah,
it is a shame, sadly. That does happen, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's 3 games down, ladies and gentlemen. We now got to the final game, and it's just a demo. This just me. I believe it's just me talking about it, or did you play it as well?
I played this demo at EGX in 2019, because that was when the last one was.
So no, we're not going to talk about it with you. That's all right.
I mean, I remember bits of it. And I remembered enough to be really excited that it's coming out this year.
Cris Tales, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be available on Nintendo Switch, PC, the PlayStations, and the Xboxes. It's also going to be on Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh shit! I've been saving money on my PlayStation for that game. I don't need to anymore. I could spend the money on something.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's coming to Game Pass. Yeah. I was saying that to myself, thinking, "Wait, does this on Game Pass?"
So hang on. So like, end of July, like the 2 games that I'm really looking forward to are Cris Tales and Death's Door, and they're both coming. Oh my god, Xbox! What are you doing? Holy shit!
Forget 4 days before that, you're going to be occupied by racing F1 tracks with me.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, we do. You forget every other game by then. Okay. It's coming out July 20th, 2021. I only played the demo. The demo's about an hour and a half long, give or take, depending on how fast you get through. It's developed by Dreams Incorporated, and I'm just going to say SYCK. I don't want to attempt to say how to say that. Sick.
SYCK. Sick, bro.
Genre is an adventure and it's an RPG. A description is discover a unique combination of branching stories, innovated combat, a classic RPG gameplay, and Cris Tales exciting and unforgettable exploration of how our actions echo actions echo through time. And that's all I'm going to say. I fell in love with what I played here.
Fucking amazing, isn't it? Oh my god. My god.
Art style is stupendous. It is a sexy ass looking game, this art style.
I don't have any footage for it, by the way, YouTube viewers, sorry.
Yeah, it is a sexy ass game. It is really, really beautiful. And if you are a classic RPG fan, this game is for you this year. This game literally screams of something that could be something really big and unique. Its combat is so. It's simple, normal RPG element, but because of the character's main power, you can go forward and backwards in time, and that if you change that, you can make your enemies weaker depending on the part you put them in, backwards or forwards and everything. And it's really, really, really good. I really like the part of that it's all voice acted. I really like that. That's the main issue when it comes to indie games for me. Reading is not my forte, so I need that voice acting part to it. If you're watching the video, ladies and gentlemen, or listening to audio, I would suggest watching the video because Amy's showing the gameplay via her phone by putting it up to her screen. The character is so unique and so interesting, and I can't wait to see what else she does into this game.
This is the in-game art style, by the way.
Yeah, I can't really say much about it because obviously I only played so much, but it's just so. It's the art style, the uniqueness of the characters just from the first hour I played was literally made me go, I have to play this game when it comes out. And
do you want to? Yeah, sorry.
I really, really liked what I played. I was just like, that was really good. That was really, really good.
Damn. Do you want to talk about why there's a triangle in the middle of the?
Yeah, that is very unique. Yeah. So there's a triangle right in between your in your screen, and like I say, you can literally change go backwards or forwards in time, or you can even send your frog friend to go backwards or forwards in time and collect certain items that you may need to help to bring it to the past, or bring it to the future, or bring it to the present, or etc. type of thing, basically.
Yeah. So
and
there's
really go on.
No, you go for it.
I was just saying I really enjoyed the uniqueness from that. I was just like, that's a very interesting idea because you see, so there's a triangle. You're in the center of the triangle. So when you move the screen, the pictures on the left, what is the past? So you can see what it used to look like. So if you see a character in the present, you move that and move him into the past. You see what he looked like in the past. Or if you put him into the future, you see what happens to him or them in the future. So they could be not dead, they could be dead, they could be older with kids or something like that. And I really like that. It's just like showing what could be. It's really, really fun.
Yeah. It has like implications for like the combat and puzzles as well. Like I remember one from the demo that I played where it's like you're like, how do I get to this thing? And it's like plant a tree of the present. And in the future, it's a tree.
So it's the same demo.
It's the same demo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'll say that right now.
All right. Cool. Like, yeah, it was a good demo. Like, you know me, really. I don't sit at EGX for an hour playing a game, but I fucking did with this. And you know what it was? It was the art style. It was. You've been to EGX, so you know, like with the indies and stuff. Yeah. It's like it was one booth. It was one thing, and it was just like the art of the main character like on the thing, and I just went, and I was just drawn towards it, like, what's this? and then the guy was like,
"Ooh, pretty."
yeah, I was like, ooh, pretty. And then it was like, what's this? Like, to the developer who was standing next to the station, he was like, it's a JRPG inspired game. And I just went, and then like to the thing, then I went, sold. Give me the controller.
Now go away.
Now leave. Because shoot. Shoot.
Sure. She was social distancing before it became popular, ladies and
Got a room full of 70,000 nerds.
Yeah, 70,000 nerds. Jesus. I can't say much more about this game. Like, it's only a demo. I played, but I really had a lot of fun with this. And
it's out this month.
Like, yeah, it's out in literally 2.5 weeks.
Game Pass. If we're doing demos, I did play a couple of demos during E3 that I never got a chance to talk about.
Yeah, I missed out on some of them.
If you want me to like quickly sell you on some more games. So you saw one, which is Sable.
You've already sold me on one of them, which I tried to play the demo on, and then the demo went. I didn't realize it was locked at a certain time, so I missed out on E3. 3 fucking demos. It so annoyed me.
It's E3, man. Right, so yes, Sable was the first one, which I streamed, and I loved every back-flipping second of it. Like, it's such a serene, peaceful, like, chilled game. Like, and it's just like, if you imagine, like, Breath of the Wild without fighting, like, it's kind of like that. Like in the demo, you're building because like in the trailers and stuff, the character's like exploring the world on this bike. It's like a hover bike thing. So you're on one of those. That was the demo that I was doing. And like the art style, like for Cris Tales, like for this is just absolutely jaw-droppingly, amazingly, incredibly beautiful. So again, like, drawn to that, like, totally. It's also coming out in Game Pass later this year.
I would just say that, yeah, coming to Game Pass.
And I've been excited for this game since I saw it, like, in sort of a similar fashion as Cuphead. When we all first saw Cuphead for like 3 seconds during a sizzle reel, and kind of all collectively on the internet just went, "What was that?" Like, it was like you saw Sable for like 5 seconds during a sizzle reel 1E3, and we all just went, "What was that? That looked amazing." And like it's been a while, but like now finally getting my hands on to play it. Sable was a lot of fun. Like there was like some environmental puzzle solving and just some traversal puzzles and just exploring this world. And like I just explored like a small area of it around sort of like your home camp before you do your thing, where like all of the people in this camp, like when they come of age, they go and explore the world and then come back. And it's like I haven't done that part yet, but I'm really looking forward to it because I want to see what the rest of this world has.
September 23rd, it comes out.
The other ones that I played, I'll talk about 2 other ones. I did Game Deck, but I don't want to talk about that because like it's this huge RPG. Never play demos of those. Because you cannot get the full scope of that game in a demo, and it's very difficult to talk about. I'm looking forward to it. But Road 96 I played the demo of, which is a procedurally generated road trip game. I think, is that fair to say? It was the game I tried to stream on that stream, and then everything went cataclysmically wrong. And in that game you are like, it's a political war-torn country, and you're trying to get to the border, and some shit's gonna go down, and like it's got some pretty heavy political themes that are very prescient in the modern day, unfortunately, where it's like, they're cracking down on people trying to like leave the country and stuff. And like the concept of the game is that like every time you start a new road trip, it's going to be a completely different road trip. Like it's procedurally generated. So like in the demo there was 2. The first one was pretty cool. Like you're in a car and you're talking to someone in the car, and then you go to like a gas station, a petrol station, and you get that's where you get your sort of introduction to like what this game is going to be about. And like how deep does it go and how hard is it going to hit, and you make some choices that I'm looking forward to seeing the results of in the future, because that's where the demo ends. Needless to say, like that was like AC8B, right? But then I was like, it's procedurally generated, the demo's over. But even the demo was like, this game is designed to be played multiple times. And I was like, cool, I'll hit new demo and see what happens. So then I started new demo, and instead of being in the car with the girl and like chilling and chatting, I was like, oh, I'm in this motorcycle, and these two guys have picked me up. And it's clear to me very quickly that they've robbed a bank. All right, cool. And then I'm just like, yeah, thanks for the lift. It's fine. Yeah, it's all good. And there's like, oh shit, the police are chasing us. Oh fuck, they really are. I know, throw the money out of the bag, throw the money at the cop car, like to distract, like try and get away from it. So like I'd gone from this sort of like very sort of like it was like two parts of this road trip where it was chilled and nice and wholesome, and then you got into sort of like the darker choice-based morality kind of thing, and then I like started up again, and I was like, there was these two idiots on a bike, and like it was quite fun. It was quite funny and lighthearted, and then I'm throwing like wads of cash at this cop car, and I was like, okay, so this game is like going to go in multiple directions for real. Like, they're not just joking about this. This is definitely going to have a lot of different tones. And that was fun. Road 96.
There's no release date for that. It's still saying 2021.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But like we always say, take time.
Take time. Do what you got to do. The game needs optimized for sure. Like it fucked my system up, trying to run it, and then I was like, it was a whole thing. Like it needs optimized, but it's a pre-release demo, so like I can kind of forgive it for needing optimized when it's an alpha build, right? The last demo that I played was Stranger of Paradise, which was the Final Fantasy Origin demo, and that was bad. Yeah. I did not enjoy that at all. I was like, it's made by the guys who made Neo. They're making a Final Fantasy that's like Neo? That's like a Souls-like? Oh, I'm in! And by the end of the demo, I was like, I'm out. Like, I'm out. Nothing about that game felt right to me. Like, nothing felt weighty. Nothing felt like it had any sort of impact. And the best, I'm going to use an analogy because I don't want to like talk too long and keep you all here longer than you have to. But like, so the one thing I'll talk about one mechanic in the game that summed up the experience for me, which was the way magic worked. Because I was like, cool, magic in a game like this, that could be cool. To use the magic, you have to pull up the menu, right? Makes sense, right? You pull up the menu and select the spell that you want to use. Fire, blizzard, other Final Fantasy things. When you do it, you lose complete control of your character and can't move. In a Souls-like.
Yeah.
To say that I quickly abandoned that option would be an understatement. I thoroughly did not enjoy the game, but alpha build, game's not coming out probably till next year at the earliest, so like maybe they'll tweak it, make some changes to it. Neo is an amazing game, so like I have some faith that they can pull this off. Also, like all of the memes about chaos was spawned from the trailer for that game, and they were fun. They don't mention chaos that much in the demo, but it was like in the trailer about 50 times the guy was like, I'm here to kill chaos.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah. Like, why does the main character he's just wearing a t-shirt? He's just wearing a t-shirt. What's that all about?
Characters do seem severely out of place.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it feels like you're in a Final Fantasy world, but then the three characters, because you got a party in the game, which is kind of cool, but like, there's like the three characters, each feel like they're from a different game, but one that isn't all Final Fantasy. Like, so all three of them feel like they're from different games entirely. in a game world that none of them belong in. Like, I don't know what's happening.
What's going on here? You're crazy. What isn't crazy though, ladies and gentlemen, is the games that we've played and talked about today. Let us know if you're going to try some and everything like that, or let us know if some of them that we've talked about has made you go, I'm going to buy it, like I just did on the game, on the podcast, and everything like that. And I will give my thoughts of it sometime further down the line, because we are the Fashionably Late Reviews, and I'm always going to be late for it.
I'm not making a list this whole thing. No.
Oh, if you want a list. Oof.
Where can the ladies and gentlemen and everyone find you on the interwebs?
I am on Twitch. I am Elf Daughter on Twitch. I'm also Elf Daughter Crafts on YouTube. I keep meaning to change that. I haven't changed it yet, so still Elf Daughter Crafts on YouTube. But mainly, you can find me on Twitch. I stream gaming and I stream a little bit of crafting as well. Good variety streamer on there. And I stream a couple of times a week. I haven't got a set schedule, but you can always find me over there.
If you type !schedule into our Twitch chat, the bot just goes, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
So I feel
we don't have a schedule.
that.
We just like go, I might stream. Yeah, I'll stream. That's how it is basically for me and Amy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whenever one of us decide to stream and everything. But
whenever I've got free time, basically.
Basically. Well, Alpha, hopefully that you will play something else further down the line, and we will get you back on as soon as possible.
I didn't really remember what I was saying like last time when we were talking to Joe, and I was like, the whole point of starting this podcast was so we could invite our friends on to talk about games, and I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm inviting our friends to talk about games. It's great.
Good. So I look forward to who you're going to bring on next week, and then 2 weeks' time.
Well, 2 weeks' time's a backlog episode, so it might just be us, but the week after, when like 9 new games come out in a week, might be invited.
Talking about all 9 games, so
that's when the invitations might start going out. Help us!
Help us, because Moody won't play them.
You play one. I'm hopefully getting you a code for one of them.
Yes. Hopefully. Which one's that again? Oh yeah.
I'm obviously not going to say it.
I'm trying to remember for myself, not for you to see online. I swear to you, that was literally me just forgetting. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As always, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, to share across the world. Let us know that we're Let them know that we are fashionably late. I'm making this up. I don't care. Let's get out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Wildermyth.
Yeah, bye, Wildermyth, like I did.
Wildermyth.